Well, Garen, let's just touch on a couple of the other results, notable clashes from the weekend. France overcoming Italy and then New Zealand beating Argentina, but both those games at half time looking very competitive, and then second half sort of going the way we expected.
Yeah, I was going to say these teams, they were still fresh, no injuries heading into their first match at the World Cup. Italy, France is a Six Nations clash. They know each other fairly well. Just fairly fiery encounter. A lot of off-the-ball niggles, punches thrown, players pushed over. And Craig Jabir really had his hands full in that game. But the right team, if you like, won. France are pretty much World Cup specialists. Got to the final last time out. So I think
we know how unpredictable they are. How did you think they looked? Do they look like final contenders again?
Obviously, early days. I would be surprised if they're obviously going to get through to the quarterfinals, and then it really, it's all going to come down to that France-Ireland match, because it looks like New Zealand now, having beaten Argentina, are going to top the group. So you don't want to finish second in that other pool, because you're going to play New Zealand. So if they can beat Ireland, that means they're going to play Argentina in the quarterfinals, which is obviously a far better proposition than playing the All Blacks. So that's the big game for them. I was fairly impressed with them. They've got they've got X-factor players. Scott Spedding played really well, kicked a long-range penalty. Michalak doing his usual thing. We got to know him playing in South Africa. So I think they will go far in this tournament. They're obviously going to be on slightly neutral ground, even playing in England and Wales, but they're still going to have far more supporters than a lot of the Southern Hemisphere teams. So I'm cautiously thinking they're my sort of dark horse team, along with Ireland, it must be said. And then New Zealand, Argentina, I was very impressed with Argentina. I thought they played one of their better games. They had a fairly youthful-looking team, whereas the All Blacks went for their most experienced team of all time, well over 1,000 Test caps. And they struggled in the first half in particular, but they're such a fit side that sort of when you reach that sort of 60, 65-minute mark, you could see that Argentina were falling off a few tackles, players staying down after making tackles, and the All Blacks really finished strong, which is credit to them. I think they're probably going to be the fittest team at this World Cup, and you're going to have to really play for 80 minutes to beat them. Again, they and South Africa are two teams that haven't played much rugby lately. And I think it helps them now that their toughest game by far is out of the way. I think the remaining matches against Tonga, Georgia, and Namibia, which really you or I could probably fit into that team and still walk away, victorious. Sonny Bill Williams came off the bench. I think he did particularly well for them. So they've got like this massive squad. I think they're going to make 15 changes regardless for their next match. So they're going to shoe-ins now to finish top of their pool. They're really waiting, as I said, to see who comes second in that France-Ireland match, and then take it from there. It's not going to be an easy game for them. They're certainly going to have their strongest team available and play fairly well to get through that. But that's the same for every team. Everyone's got their sort of problems now. Groups of death, matches coming up. They're going to play key roles in seeing who finishes top and makes those quarterfinals.